Carrick says Van de Beek is capable of playing as a false nine. Donny van de Beek was a conundrum for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer throughout his Manchester United reign. In the first game since Solskjaer's sacking, Van de Beek was in the team ahead of Bruno Fernandes. Michael Carrick fielded him in a disciplined role in a compact 4-3-3 formation against Villarreal on Tuesday night. At his pre-match press conference ahead of the trip to face Chelsea, Carrick also said that Van de Beek can play as a false nine, a role Solskjaer never fielded him in. Donny's one of those players where because he's so flexible, he can play different positions, said Carrick. He's done the same for Ajax before he came here, so he's used to that, and he's done that for Holland as well. Variety can be a real strength. We've got ideas where we think Donny is most suited, but, as I said, actually he's so flexible and so adaptable that the 2 or 3 positions in and around midfield. He even played, you could argue, a false nine for Ajax at times in the Champions League where they ended up getting beat by Tottenham. So, yeah, of course we've got ideas for it, but being so flexible is a real strength and a credit to what he can be for the team. Van de Beek sometimes played in a deeper role, and also off the left at times, but never as a false nine. But Ralf Rangnick is set to come in, and he is an original thinker about football, and every player will have a clean slate under the new boss, so nothing should be ruled out completely. Maguire out, Bailly in, predicted Man United lineup versus Chelsea. Manchester United are back in Premier League action this weekend after Michael Carrick's first game in charge of the side as caretaker manager ended in a 2-0 win at Villarreal. Carrick is expected to be in charge against Chelsea this Sunday, but with Ralf Rangnick's appointment seen as imminent, the former United midfielder will most likely step back in time for next week's clash against Arsenal. David De Gea was one of few players to come out of last week's defeat to Watford with their head held high, and the Spaniard is expected to feature again. Harry Maguire is unavailable after picking up a red card in London, and Raphael Varane remains on the sidelines. Eric Bailly will be hoping for another chance to impress. Chelsea are the league leaders and one of the favourites to take home the Premier League crown this season. Carrick will be aiming for a resolute and compact midfield. Fred and Scott McTominay have a better record in big games than any other pairing at the club, and they are expected to be involved. Further up the pitch, Jadon Sancho looks to have finally had his breakthrough at the club. Despite the 4-goal thumping against Watford, the 21-year-old was impressive, and he carried that form with him into the win at Villarreal. Sancho scored his first goal for United in the closing exchanges of the game and was visibly relieved to have broken that goal-scoring duck. He will be desperate to keep his place against Chelsea. Michael Carrick praises terrific Jadon Sancho in press conference. Speaking to the press ahead of United's trip to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea, United caretaker manager Michael Carrick lavished praise on Sancho. He was asked about the England international more than once at his pre-match press conference. He's a terrific player, Jadon. He's never happier than when the ball's at his feet. He's trying to create things, going at defenders, linking inside with forwards, creating chances and scoring goals, said Carrick. I've seen that in training and games already. The biggest thing for me the other night was the other side of his game, his attitude, work rate and mentality. He put a whole performance together, and I was really pleased for him. It's not always easy to just step into this club and perform, especially as a younger player. He's got a massive future ahead of him if keeps doing the right things, looks after himself and has the right attitude. I've seen it in training in recent weeks, that spring in his step coming back, in the body language, his personality. There's a little spark there, and hopefully that spark keeps getting bigger and he keeps improving. Rangnick debut delayed, Carrick to be in charge of Man United against Arsenal. Manchester United are edging closer towards confirming an interim appointment following the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Michael Carrick has assumed temporary charge of the side, overseeing this week's 2-0 win in Villarreal. Ralf Rangnick has emerged as the club's first-choice target for the interim positions, with some reports claiming that an agreement has been struck between Manchester United and Lokomotiv Moscow over his extraction. The 63-year-old is believed to be closing in on agreeing on terms with Manchester United as well, but there are now concerns that he will not be in place by the time Arsenal make the trip to Old Trafford on Thursday. That's according to the Mirror, who say that although United are relaxed about their managerial situation, Carrick is expected to be in charge against Mikel Arteta's side. Rangnick will not be at Stamford Bridge to watch United against Chelsea on Sunday. United are said to be still ironing out the details on Rangnick's short-term contract, with a work permit for the manager also not finalised yet, meaning that his first game in charge could be against Crystal Palace the following weekend. The dream scenario would be for Rangnick to assume responsibility at Carrington immediately after the Chelsea game, but that as things stand, that's unlikely. Following the Arsenal game, Manchester United have a run of easier games, and that would represent perfect timing for a new manager to come in. Julian Nagelsmann reacts to Ralf Rangnick's imminent move to Man United. Manchester United are edging closer towards confirming the imminent arrival of Ralf Rangnick as their interim manager, having dismissed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following last weekend's defeat to Watford. Earlier on Friday, Jurgen Klopp became the first manager to publicly react to the news of Rangnick joining Manchester United, and now, another German manager has followed suit. Bayern Munich manager Julian Nagelsmann has spoken highly of Rangnick and the past and is convinced that the former RB Leipzig chief will leave a lasting impression at Old Trafford. "I wrote to him that I think it's great," Nagelsmann is quoted as saying by Spox, via Sport Witness. "He will do Manchester United a lot of good with his power and the way he plays football. I believe that United will play good games in the next few weeks, and I wish for him that he can stay there longer than just until the summer. And when the stress really starts with him, I'll give him a call." As with many of Germany's leading coaches, Rangnick has influenced Nagelsmann with his coaching. Rangnick preceded Nagelsmann at RB Leipzig as the club's head coach and did the same at Hoffenheim earlier, although their tenures were separated by half a decade. As his comments would suggest, Nagelsmann is well versed in what kind of football Rangnick will bring to Manchester United, but perhaps, more importantly, the type of impact he will have at board level. According to reports, the German will stay at the club in an advisory role following his stint as interim manager and will have a leading role in the club's decision to appoint a permanent successor to Solskjaer. Juventus not expecting to re-sign Paul Pogba from Manchester United. Juventus are not confident about bringing Paul Pogba back to Turin next year, according to a report. Court Offside claimed to have spoken to a senior Juventus official who said, "We don't think it is going to be possible now. Keep an eye on PSG and Real Madrid." With Juventus seemingly out of the race to sign Pogba, who can walk through the exit doors at Manchester United, again, on a Bosman in the summer when his contract expires, only Paris Saint-Germain or Los Blancos appear to be in the race for the Frenchman's signature. It is suggested that Juventus' very own stumbling block is their inability to find a buyer for Aaron Ramsey, who was on the scoresheet for Wales during the international break. There is no such thing as a free transfer in football nowadays, and Pogba will be demand big bucks if he can save a potential buyer from paying a transfer fee. It is music to Mino Raiola's ears, and United fans will ask if the club made a mistake not cashing in on Pogba last summer. Pogba started the season well but has slipped back due to complacency. He is not injured for the foreseeable future at a time Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs his best players to improve results.